Hi, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Steph.
Welcome to the Unstoppable Podcast.
This is the podcast where we sit down, have coffee, and chat about all things health, wellness, mental health, and what it means to be an unstoppable woman.
JuggFit shoot.
What a weekend.
Oh my
Holy.
God.
I think it's been a massive weekend. So prevalent that we have to do a bit of a wrap up because
100%.
This is the, dare I say, the biggest event that we do in the year.
And dare I say, the best one
It was pretty freaking cool.
I think so, being biased.
Cool. And every year, it just gets bigger and bigger. But I don't think we can take the credit for that at all because it's the energy that our clients bring.
Yeah.
And I think this year the energy was all-time high.
So high. I also think we had a stunning Airbnb that just kept everyone feeling just comfortable.
Yeah.
Like previous years we did a studio,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
the Airbnb was so good. Everyone was so comfortable. We had the tunes going and that just helped the energy so much.
I definitely saw the difference too, especially leveling it up over the years as well. But
So third, JuggFit photo shoot.
But the third, let's bring it all the way back, all
Yeah.
the way back. This
Yeah.
is the third year that we've done this. And obviously things like that only happen, and they only become annual with the support from others.
Mm-hmm.
And really that's kind of where it all started with this photo shoot. It's, a celebration of our clients. Selfishly, that first year was me wanting to share my excitement with other people. I wanted to get you and our coach Em at the time into the studio as well because I was in competition prep and, photo shoots were just such a fun thing that I really enjoy in a lead up to capturing a big achievement for a journey. And it's adult dress up, right? You get your hair and your makeup's all done and you wear a random outfit that you never would wear walking down the street to go get coffee, and you push all the things out there, and it's just such a cool girly experience, and especially when you can share that with others.
And especially because life is just life and sometimes you don't stop and get dressed up and go out for a night out or go and put something a little bit out of your comfort zone on.
Yeah.
And I think especially because we do have a vast majority of different ladies in our community that people most of them probably hadn't done a photo shoot before. I definitely didn't have.
Yeah, and that was really cool getting you into the studio for the first time for that first year as well. But I think exactly that, the majority of the time we see our beautiful clients, we see them through online feedback, we see them through coaching videos or we see them in the PT, and we're all rocking rightfully so, right? Messy buns and no makeup and nothing.
Sweaty.
And it's always that, give me a hug, but okay, I'm sweaty, constantly. And I love that. It's what we're here for, it's the nitty gritty of it all. But to be able to have that moment of okay, I'm going to get all done up.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the energy that comes behind that too. I think there's so many different beautiful facets that come from each of our very individual personalities. There's the beast mode when we head into the gym. There's the diva when we step on stage. There's the striker pose, Vogue, sort of element when you're in the photo shoot studio. And there's so many different parts that you can lean into, different parts of persona and personalities, and really seeing that shine through as well. So third year. So first year we were in a little studio, which I actually, looking back on it now, I can't believe we fit that many people into this studio.
There was over 20, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. One bathroom, no change rooms, nothing.
Hot. It was kind
so
of hot and sweaty.
It was so hot. And the aircon was maybe working. But it was just the fun of it. And I think that was really good fun for something different. Beautifully so, and huge gratitude and shout out to Josh at Alt Art Co. He has been with us through all of our photo shoots, and it was the second shoot ever that I had done with Josh. I'd done a kind of a lead up to make sure that him and I vibed and I felt comfortable, even though I'd done this before, I felt comfortable being around a male photographer, especially trying to introduce him into a very female dominant space and not wanting anyone to feel any level of uncomfortable. But for anyone who has the pleasure of meeting Josh in the future, there is nothing uncomfortable about him. He is the kindest, most supportive soul in every way. And I think that just especially came across each year that we've leveled up. But that first year was really just breaking down the boundaries around
Mm.
it, and doing something a little bit different. And then the second year, was even bigger. We had a heap of support involved as well. So working with some local boss babes in their own rights and beautiful clients of our communities over the years as well. Nikki from Ines Beauty and the glam squad that she brought into that space. And the gorgeous Samara from In Style up here in the NT too. Like the glamour that they brought through to the ladies with hair and makeup just leveled and elevated. You know, the studio was bigger. We launched our JFit apparel as part of it all as well. And it just was such a huge, huge day. But it came with that energy too, because it was quite a high energy space. Whereas like what you named this year, like we had this gorgeous house. So everything had a bit more of a different feel for it. It was cozy. Like it was a little bit more cozy and chill and very much a feeling of like the fam just hanging out at home.
Yeah.
But with this bougie welcome to my mega mansion glamour chic that kind of came with it all as well.
Yeah, I live here.
I live
totally.
here. Yeah, it was amazing.
And I think just rewinding back to that first photo shoot, like I mentioned before, it was my first photo shoot.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't know how I feel about a male photographer. Sometimes it comes with like expectations and the narratives that you've seen from other people. But honestly, Josh is so good at what he does. There's no doubt in any of our ladies that like they're not comfortable.
Absolutely.
And even we had our exciting, we'll get to it, but VIP shoots for this last JuggFit photo shoot, but none of the ladies had a second doubt. Like Josh is just so calm. He helps you with posing. He vibes off your energies.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would feel like stepping back into that space knowing that it's a photographer if I was starting from scratch, like if I didn't have you as a support, didn't have the community as a support, but he's so chill.
I think that's what I love about these events as well, is because everyone's there to see each other succeed. Like it's that feeling of, let me help. Like, okay, we're not too sure about how this image looks completely and visually. So, you know, Josh is on the floor, or we're like zhuzhing your hair, or like come and try this, or like these sort of different movements. It's also the hype that comes around it too. Like a basked in everyone's energy all the time within these events, because everyone is such like hype girls for each other. And the cheering and the wooing and the celebration, especially because everybody's goals are so different. We're all there for a completely different reason. It was something that we were very clear on when we started doing these photo shoots across the board, and a decision that we all made together that at JuggFit, we support unstoppable women into their own very individual, very personal goals, and therefore we could not put everybody in the same box. Like you won't see a shred challenge or a encouragement to be a smaller human being and to shrink into the background. We want you to be large and in charge, forward, front, center, and really stepping into what you want out of the day. But that's also the journey up to that point as well. And I think that's what makes it a really cool celebration, is that everybody's goals are just so different, but the support is there across the whole community.
I would say every single shoot, maybe the first shoot there was more body recomp goals.
I think that came with a level of expectation, but also vibes from our environment too, because I was in competition prep. So it kind of came with that like, oh, well, if Steph's doing this, then, you know, that what that could possibly be.
And having that, like, somebody else is also going through this.
Yeah.
Like, someone else, like,
The
Steph is going through
support.
it. Yeah, 100%. But I think, like, over the 3 shoots, every single person has been uniquely with their goals. And like we chatted on episode 1, go and listen to that if you haven't already. We talked about how unique our ladies are, and that it's okay for your goals to change. Yeah. And we had a few ladies do that this year.
Absolutely. And it's throughout the... We still call it like a photo shoot prep, but I think it's more of a prep in terms of like a structured timeline. That was the whole point of putting our photo shoot at the start of the year. Like Christmas is generally comes with an element of crazy. We all do the best we can to be able to keep in alignment, but then things kind of start to shift in January, February. The kids go back to school. We start to create a little bit, maybe more time and space for ourselves to become a little bit more
back into that routine.
Yeah, back into your routine, become a bit more beautifully selfish. Like, what do I want to focus on? What do I want to spend my time on? And the photo shoot prep, that timeline just comes in really nicely for that. Yeah.
100%. I think shoot 2 in a bigger studio was a little bit different, and we did have some community elements that we did bring along with that as well, like online calls. And I think each year we've just planned it a little bit better and we've brought in more of that community aspect.
Yeah. But that's come from feedback too. Like, you know, talking to people and talking to the ladies that are involved in the shoots and being like, what do you want to see? How do you feel like you could be supported better? And, you know, again, that growth mindset from ourselves as well. Like, how do we support more, encourage more? What do we need as this world? And I think even though we live in a really connected society, we're really disconnected. And so this year we saw that there was so much more want for how do we spend more time together? And I think we really took that feedback on board and were able to apply that into a combination of including our whole community and everyone that was involved, because we had ladies, you know, living in different states. You're in a completely different state and coaching online. We have ladies that are FIFO out working in, you know, rural areas that they don't have access to gyms and, you know, access to organizing their own food. And we had to be able to cater for everybody. But it's a great overall encompassing theme of this is what life looks like. You know, it's not always perfect, doesn't always go to plan. What is the best that we possibly can? And we really took all of those elements on board to be able to put together this year's prep, and then to have the celebration that we did over the weekend was just everything.
It was so amazing. And learning from that second shoot, we brought in the VIP
We
option,
sure did bring the VIP
which
option.
was, dare I say, bloody amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
And
really cool.
Again, every single woman had a different view for their VIP. We had some lingerie, we had some Audrey Hepburn, we had some Cinderella vibes, we had some Mother Nature vibes. It was just so amazing.
What I love about all those VIP shoots is that everybody had this like feminine energy. It was all feminine energy, and it was all encompassing and powerful and empowering and a celebration, but it all looked so different. Like everyone was so different. And I love that, because as women, we're so different in every single way, but we're all striving for the same level of self-love, of confidence, of acceptance, and ultimately celebrating the journeys as to where we've come to right now and what could possibly happen moving on next as well. So yes, it was massive. Even before that too, like this weekend, not just our photo shoot that we had with our clients, like we did too. And that was a whole different element that we've shared little snippets of. But, you know, we were in the gym on Thursday doing some videos and a little bit of upcoming some promo things to update our websites. We also stepped into the house on like Friday, and like you and I are vibing on some images and some videos too, and really like finding those nooks and crannies to be able to help support our ladies. Then the navigation of like 25 people in the house and making sure that everyone had the experience that they had shared with us that they wanted from the day, making sure that no one was feeling excluded or left out or pushed. Like you didn't have to do anything you don't want to. Make sure you get the images that you want to. And again, kudos out to Josh, and he had his assistant Bree over the weekend as well, helping out too, and making sure that everyone, you know, got the most out of their experience. It wasn't just like a photo with us or in a big group, but having those small individual, very personal elements and snippets. And then the VIP was a whole different level. So VIP, all of our ladies stepped into a very individual shoot. They had the option to be able to have their hair and makeup done as well, and then style themselves for 2 to 3 outfits. And the encouragement that we gave everyone with their outfits was exactly that, around your personality. Like, what are the different parts of you? What are we celebrating? And I was beautifully pleasantly surprised by a couple of outfits that were chosen and the different parts of personalities, and how much I learnt about these women that I didn't know before.
And I think sometimes outfits almost like tell another part of somebody. Like I see you in activewear all the time. You see me in the activewear. But then when we go out or we go out for dinner, and I might be wearing a dress, and it's like that's how you would dress like when you're not in activewear, and that's cool. And that's something that we encourage, was bring something that maybe is a little out of your comfort zone, but also you feel comfortable in to be the most confident version of you.
Absolutely. And we try to embody that with like our team shoot day as well. That's why we run the different themes. Like, you know, we're all on our health and fitness journeys, and you know, that mutual ground and the relationship of how we know each other is that gym space. So in terms of the hot, sweaty, messy bun, like that's a comfortable area, right? You know, it's something that most of us live in, activewear, especially if we live in hot, sweaty environments, or just even the comfort of like activewear, like
so comfy
all day, every day. But that's what I also love about our theme. We always double it up with a theme that pushes things just a little bit, but it's very personal. And this year's theme was barefoot and bold,
which I loved, by the way.
It was a really, really cool
It was
theme.
so cool.
Which basically meant like you could do anything with it. It was resort wear chic. So like you're going on a tropical
Yacht.
holiday. Yeah. And you're like going out to step onto your yacht and into your villa, which was very much inspired by the location that we had this year as well. This beautiful location down in Bayview overlooking the ocean. But everybody stepped into it so differently. Like, and even us as well as coaches, like the 5 coaches that were in that space on the day, and how everybody's outfits were completely different and different levels of personality and confidence that came through to that space as well. And even for some ladies, you know, the things that push lines and showcase confidence, like, you know, for me, I'm the first person to wear a little bit of nothing in comparison
Covering
to my
all areas.
Areas are covered.
Everything else, no.
But it kind of comes with that over the years type of level of, not in a negative way, but like expectation. Like I looked for my own outfits and I'm like, that doesn't push my boundaries as much as I want it to. And so I shied away from them. But for other ladies, the thought of even just having their arms out, or the thought of even wearing something that showed their legs when they're so used to constantly, you know, having that covering, automatically that pushes something further for them to be able to step into an uncomfortable situation. And I think having that open theme really allows someone to find what that level looks like, but also still feel a relative level of comfort too.
Of comfort, yeah, definitely. And I think on that note, it's pushing them out of that boundary, or not so much the boundary, out of their comfort zone just that little bit. And I had so many conversations with ladies in the team shoot that said how much they've progressed between last year's shoot and this year's shoot, and the things you pick up of maybe, oh, that lady is standing by herself, maybe I'll go talk to her because I was that person last year. And just the growth and seeing you were that person last year and somebody come up to you, now you're repaying the favor and going to make someone feel just that little bit maybe comfort just talking to somebody.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest things. There are so many things I love about our JuggFit community, but the inclusivity and the openness and the growth that comes from that. The amount of gorgeous ladies that have been with us for the last 3 years and seeing them change. And even one of our ladies in particular, her body has completely changed and it's a totally different level of journey. The first year she was in a fat loss deficit based goal. The middle year she was just navigating what life looked like for her to actually thrive as a human being. And this year she stepped into the space, growing her little human. And you know, that comes with it so many changes physically, but mentally too, and still embodying that and still being a part of it. Like it's everything. It's so special because it also, whether you're actually in the room and someone's walking to you and saying, hey, come and be in the photo with me, or coming and encouraging, it also shows from a greater perspective as we share these things, you know, online and other people observe that you don't have to be a certain way to do something like this. Look a certain way, step into a certain way, have had experience before, but the people that are around you, those support systems, the encouragement, the community, like that can make the whole experience. Yeah.
And even though it is a 12-week prep for a photo shoot, your goal does not have to be a smaller version of you.
Never.
I know, like, probably at least like 50% of my ladies, their goal this year was the mindset and the promises that they keep to themselves. Not necessarily fat loss phase, not necessarily like building muscle. It was just, I've grown so much as a human being. I've done better than I did last shoot, but it might not be physical. It might be mental and emotional and awareness of themselves in their body.
Even like because of that, they could have, well, I know definitely a fair few ladies share with me that they enjoyed the experience more. They enjoyed being there. They enjoyed having the day. And there was so many people that I spoke to about how it just felt different. Like this year just feels different. And that the focus isn't stressed around the goal. Like, I have to achieve this by this point. I just have to enjoy the day. I just have to enjoy this fleeting moment of experience of having the fun with people around as well.
And I think that comes with, like, if a lady has done more than one shoot, stepping out of that comfort zone just that little bit more each time, you're going to grow and you're going to...
you have that confidence from the last time as well. Yeah.
But I also know that some of the ladies we had there in the group shot or group shoot, it was their first photo shoot ever.
Which is so cool.
And just seeing a lady who is maybe not as confident and connecting with someone else or another lady and having a conversation, like sitting down at the table, tunes are going, people are getting photos together. It was just really beautiful to see.
That conversational piece, everybody was like such different walks of life. And I think that was really cool too. Like the fact that some of the conversations I heard around the room was just, you know, who I am on the day-to-day. I look at it like the Clark Kent to like the Superman. Like, you know, this is my Clark Kent. On the day-to-day, I do this. Yeah. But in my Superman, I'm, you know, dull to the high heavens and pushing things out a little bit. Or these are my internal, like, things that I'm working towards. And it's a safe space to share them with people around you because they get it too. Like, I understand, like, me too. We challenge this, we're mums, we work, we try and fit in all the things all the time. But this is something I chose to just do for me.
Do for yourself.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. That was such a cool weekend.
It was very cool.
What about, Nikki? Do you feel comfortable sharing your goals for the photo shoot?
Yes. My goals chopped and changed a little bit, and I'll be the first to admit that. My goal coming into this shoot was, first and foremost, weight loss.
Yeah.
Now, my goal by the end of the shoot was not that.
Yeah.
My goal was to trust myself.
Yeah.
To trust myself in doing the hard, heavy, scary barbell back squats. It was to trust myself in the food. It was to trust myself mentally and know that I can do it. So even though my goal started as weight loss, which technically I did achieve, it wasn't, like I mentioned about my clients before, it wasn't on the physical aspect this time.
Yeah.
But I think the element of mental growth that happened through the shoot transferred physically as well. So even though I wasn't directly targeting physical change by, I think it was maybe the 3rd or 4th week when we had that reflection call or that goal setting call, I was like, I want to trust myself. And that correlated to changing my body anyway. So the more I focused on the mindset and the mental aspect, the more my body changed and the more I become aware of the things that were happening in my brain.
Absolutely. Stress is a powerful tool. Yeah, stress mitigation as well around that sort of space, and not just talking to stress as in like, you know, emotional stress, but environmental too. How am I sleeping? Is my body being fueled? What am I applying? The things that are happening in our world, you know, family, work that are happening, you know, sometimes feels like it can be happening to us. Most of the time it's happening for us to be able to grow from that situation too.
And I think something that I really focused on was those smaller things. Am I getting my 8 hours of sleep? Is my cycle on time? Is it delayed? What happened in that past month or the past 4 weeks that could have had a correlation with my delayed cycle, whether it was my food and not fueling, whether it was my hydration, whether it was the stresses in work or life or relationship challenges there. So more mental for me this year. I did do body recomp last year and I think the year before as well. And then I was like, I want to do fat loss phase. But then it just kind of didn't align.
Yeah.
It just didn't
change.
It didn't, and it didn't sit right with me in the first 3 weeks, first 4 weeks. Then when we had that goal setting call, I was like, you know what, this is not what I want this shoot prep to be. So I changed my goal.
Yeah. Which is also why I asked you that question, because I think, you know, like we talked about in our first episode, like we're allowed to. We're allowed to change. And I think a 12-week period just gives that like visual representation of a short period of time versus when we think of like the duration of our whole lives. And the fact that we can start off and that motivation's at an all-time high. I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to cross all the T's, dot all the I's, you know, don't muck with me. I've got this type of thing. And then life happens, things shift, you grow, you learn, you really reflect, and then go, well, maybe that's not what I want anymore. But I'm still in this particular journey. I still have this checkpoint coming up and this thing that I'm working towards. So how do I step into what success means to me and the fact that success has changed? I know that's definitely a question we asked our ladies and continue to ask our ladies all the time. Like, what does success look like for you? Because it could be a number on a scale. If that's your definition of success, by all means. If it's the dedication to your self processes, if it's the dedication to your boundaries and saying no to something you'd otherwise say yes to. But ultimately, that is your definition of success. And therefore, that's what you're going to be able to embody and be proud of the day when you step into it as well.
And even on that mental kind of aspect of like, well, maybe you should keep the promises about learning more about yourself. I think, and we will probably do another podcast episode on it, but the nervous system is a huge one.
Huge.
And for one of my ladies...
that's a mini-series podcast in terms of levels of nervous system. It's a huge one.
For one of my ladies, she had a really, really shit end of last year.
Yeah.
But her goal for the first, I would say, 8 weeks, so majority of shoot prep, was to continue or maintain her strength and lose body fat.
Yeah.
The last 4 weeks, it was just getting back to routine, getting back to herself, finding out her balance again. She had some time away, which was really beautiful. But then the last couple of weeks, she was like, nope, I'm going to do this for myself, get back into a routine. The simple things can make such a huge difference.
Huge difference, yeah. And the fact that, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Getting back into a routine, just getting back into the flow of it. I know my 12 weeks wasn't perfect. I spent 4 of them traveling with my husband in Japan, and
how incredible, by the way.
It was absolutely incredible, but there were promises I put in place to be able to still do the thing I said I was going to do while I was over there. You know, to the point where my MyFitnessPal and my food tracking is all in Japanese for that whole month, and I just did the best that I possibly could. It wasn't perfect. I didn't hit my macros every day. I didn't touch a weight other than my 20 plus kilo suitcase the whole time we were over there. But I still was mindful of my choices. I still respected the things that I knew served me. I got my sleep. I made sure I drank my water, even if I was sitting in the snow. Like, it was those minimum parameters that I was like, this short period of time in the middle of this is my definition of success. And how do I really embody and step into that every single time? Once things came back and we were back in a bit more of a flow and routine at home, I could dial it up. And my good enough was no longer good enough because I had space to actually push to not what perfection could look like, but what a different level of self-standard could look like being in that environment instead. And knowing honestly and having those conversations with yourself honestly and being like, can I really give 100% of my best effort to this at the moment? Or do I need to step into good enough being good enough and still know that that's all going to accumulate to win, like to success, to achievement at the end of the day?
And I think it's really good that you highlighted the fact that you're away for 4 weeks and the fact that you were still working towards this big goal. Yes, it might not have been to the level you could push to while you were home, but life is life.
Life is life,
like,
absolutely.
You shouldn't just have to do one or the other. You should be able to go into it with like, okay, I know I'm not going to have access to a gym. Do I do Pilates at home via virtual? Do I make sure I get my steps in? Do I make sure I can hit enough protein, take your supplements like I know you did, and then step back into, is that level good enough when you're back home?
One of my big goals while I was over there just talking to vitamins was to not get sick. Because from previous experience, the last time I was there, I got the flu the whole time and I was so sick the whole time. And I was like, if I get sick in this, going from, you know, the sauna of Darwin we live in to the snow, and if I get sick, that's going to wipe me out for even longer. So what are those processes I put in place? Yes, from a external visual point, maybe I looked extreme. I packed a kilo of protein powder and I packed all my supplements and took them with me, and religiously I took them every single day to make sure that that didn't happen. But when I came home and I didn't get sick, that win was massive, and I could continue on with what was happening in that different level of dialing it up, essentially, because we were able to put those plans in place.
And you would have communicated that with your coach?
Always.
And just made sure that she was aware, this is my game plan, this is where I want to step into, and then anything else, you just communicate it with your coach and you're like, I want to do this, I want to take a step back. I want to do X, Y, and Z.
Absolutely.
Communicate it with your coach, and that is still success.
Yeah. But I think it's a really important part to be able to share personally, like what our goals were for this as well, because not only are we supporting others through this, we have to show up as the best versions of ourselves on the day too. It's, well, in this case, in 5 days, across 5 days to be able to support others. You know, we're the first people to say openly and honestly, you know, if we're tired or we need another cup of coffee, because we encourage you to do the same thing. And to make sure that we're hydrated and fueled to be able to be there and be present in every way that we possibly could be.
And I think something that come up for me was that level of standard to set for my clients.
Yes.
But in saying that, yes, I want to do and set that like standard for my clients. But my fiance put it really nicely. He's like, would you expect your clients to continue to push because somebody else was having that view or that look on you? And I was like, no, I'd probably tell to take a step back, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
We're human.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think it's the encouragement for that as well. Like, I think setting self-expectations, like sharing your goals or like, you know, traveling, being like, these are my parameters, is what I'm working towards, the mindset and framing around them as well. But at the same time, knowing that, you know, that's the kindness element. We say it often, like, be kind, make sure you're being kind to yourself. But that can be a really loaded question sometimes as to like what kind actually looks like. And kind sometimes can be saying, hey, you know, I got an MIA, I just can't chat about it right now. Or I just need a bit of time and space. Or, you know, thank you for the encouragement, but I just can't at the moment. And that's okay. Like, regardless of whether your coach is doing something, whether they're dialing it up, whether we're seeing the highlight of the Instagram reel of like everyone's hell yeah, let's go. It's exactly that. It's a highlight. People don't share their low lights. They don't, you know, hopefully I hope everyone has a very safe space so they can share their low lights. But I know personally, I had so many ups and downs over the last 12 weeks. And to come around to shoot day and really just want to step into the most present, enjoy the moment version of myself became the all-encompassing goal. It was the things that I set out to achieve to begin with no longer became important because I just wanted to be able to actually enjoy the presence of being in that space. And I know a few of my ladies felt the same.
I think 100% all of the ladies in that room were fully present, and they were, I would say every single one of them was happy with how their shoot prep went.
Yeah.
No matter if it changed, the goals changed, no matter if we didn't do perfection, chuck that word out the window. But I think every single lady stepped into it as the most like unstoppable version of themselves, no matter what it looked like.
I know for me personally and for us as JuggFit as well, it's a bit of a huge like pat on the back when you have people that have literally just walked out of the location going, okay, when are we doing it next?
Yeah.
Or I found this image, like I have inspo for next year's shoot, like, and the excitement that comes behind that as well. And that's also what I love about a photo shoot is it's a really safe space in comparison to something like, you know, the craziness that I step into that is being on stage in bodybuilding. It's so fleeting, whereas in a photo shoot, we can adjust and move and pose and poise and breathe and laugh and all of those little things in between that allows space to go a little slower and actually enjoy what's happening right at this point in time. I think that's also what our photographer, I say our photographer, we've claimed him. Josh, if you're listening to this, you're an honourary part of JuggFit.
He's based in Adelaide now, FYI, everybody.
Absolutely. And watch this space because Adelaide.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But what he does really beautifully is encourage that moment to show someone what the photo looks like or, okay, are you ready for this? Versus just feeling like you're standing there and just like smiling in space, being like, what am I actually doing here? Right? Yeah. And getting them involved into what's actually happening in the space at that point in time to create this beautiful art.
100%. It is.
It's gorgeous. And all of our beautiful women in all of their vessels in every shape and size, it's all beautiful art in every single way. And I feel like we really helped to support that this weekend and create that celebration of self.
It was beautiful. Vessels. I love our shoots. And it means that I get to come up for 2 weeks.
Yes. We get to have Nikki and Darwin for 2 weeks, which was amazing.
But watch out for the 2027,
which is crazy.
JuggFit photo shoot.
Yeah. We we'll take a second.
Yeah.
We'll breathe from this one first.
Yep.
But as they have and as experience is showing us this year, everything has just leveled up every single year. But
We learn from it.
massive love and shout out to all of our JuggFit ladies that were involved in the weekend too.
We can't do it without you.
Absolutely would not do it without you. It is for you. It is all about you. And we're so proud, like so proud on every single level for every single one of you achieving everything that you've set out to achieve. It was a massive weekend and just thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, it was so good.
So good.
It was just so good. Yeah.
So when we're ready with the next lot of information to be able to get it out there, we definitely will. Feedback is always appreciated. If you would like to be involved in our JuggFit shoots that'll happen again in the future as well, by all means, always reach out to us. Instagram's
Definitely.
probably the best space to be able to get a hold of us in every way.
Jug.fitness.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or you can find our individual coaching pages through the Jug.fitness page as well. So
We also have Facebook too.
we do have Facebook, yes.
Juggernaut Fitness.
Juggernaut Fitness
Yep.
on Facebook, and we love connecting. So if you did see any of our videos or photos coming out from the weekend as well, and it resonated with you, if it's something you want to be involved with, we'd love to have the conversation.
It all starts with a chat.